Hey everybody, this is Sage Valentine, and this is my review for the following. Season 2, Episode 14, honey. Silence. Let me tell you what. The following is the only show that I watch that gets me screaming, gets me up, gets me hyped out, gets me going crazy. Did you see that ending? If you have not watched that episode, cut this video now because this is full of spoilers and I'm definitely going to spoil it for you. We lost, I believe, about 2 characters this time. Although one of them, I'm not sure if they're dead. We'll find out in episode 15. But we got one more episode and I am here for it. This is a Kingston Tanner centric episode. And girl, boy, Jesus Christ. My heart is still racing. So we are at the aftermath of what happened to Lily's death. Luke and Mark carjacked this woman, and they're talking to her dead body. Luke still cannot understand or grasp the concept of what a dead body is, nor can he grasp the concept of the fact that his mother is dead. So much so that he basically hits the gas so hard, it's like, ah, when he stops. Okay. He says that Joe, Mike, and Ryan are all going to pay. So I figured Lily was the biggest albatross. Like I said, those twins, gigantic albatross, they are on their way. So we're at Corbin. We find out that after the shooting and everything, we find out that Ryan is covering for Mike because Mike has completely lost it, and Max goes along with it as well. They reveal to the FBI that Kingston Tanner is the next target. Ryan learns from an FBI agent that Carrie sent a message to Joe through on TV, and Claire was the one actually that sent the message, and Carrie relayed that message over the television. Okay. I think Mike wants to go in, guns blazing. Ryan's like, you're better than me. We learned that Kingston Tanner lives in Montclair, New Jersey. So just a heads up on all of you watchers, Jersey is in the house on the following. And apparently somebody who writes for the following must have been from New Jersey, lived in New Jersey. They're using Jersey in a big way this season. And New York, but Jersey, big way. So, Kingston Tanner gets a burner phone through his security guard. Somebody left a note with the phone. So Carrie Cook is all over the news. Everybody's freaking out, trying to figure out what she was talking about in her message. So Ryan tells Claire, you put Carrie in jeopardy by making her relay this message for you. And he wants to know, she basically says she wants Joe to know that she's alive so that they can kill him. Claire says this will never end until Joe is dead. And Ryan tells Claire to go home and he will find her when this is over. Now, Ryan should already know Claire is not going to listen. Never listens. So they hug and they kiss, and you can feel like this is the end of the Carrie and Ryan sexathon, and it's the beginning of the love fest again between Claire and Ryan. Claire sees Ryan's weapons, and right here we're through an open door, and we already should know that she's about to make a move that she shouldn't be doing. So Joe and his people are getting ready, and one of the girls realizes that this is a mission, like a death mission. This is it. She'll see him on the other side, basically. So Emma's upset that Claire's alive. She feels like Joe is walking into a trap, Ryan's trap. Joe thinks that Claire will show up to some inn or something where he asked her to marry him. So he sends Robert and Emma to this inn to wait for Claire to show up. And he basically tells Emma, let Robert play hero. Don't you play hero. And Emma basically gives him an ultimatum, like, if you are falling apart, then I am done. So it's clear, like I said in the previous videos, that Emma's not here for Joe and his crazy after Mandy died. So Robert and Emma are at the inn, they're waiting. Kingston Tanner's talking to Ryan. Joe took Preston, and the FBI wants to basically protect him. He doesn't want this protection. The crowd of people outside have to leave. There's this huge crowd of people with all these signs and stuff. So he ends up getting a call on the phone from Joe, and he says he has to wait for a sign and then follow the instructions. So Mike is talking to Ryan something about prayer and how stupid these people are to believe that prayer will save Preston and da da da. So the same woman who was like hugging Joe before they left in the van, okay, she takes a Gatorade bottle full of what looks like lighter fluid and sets herself on fire and burns herself. Meanwhile, Tanner sneaks out the back. He's gone. He's done. Okay. Like I said, Joe said to Emma, for Robert to play the hero, don't endanger yourself. She says she'll do whatever he says. And then he tries to, convince her that he's devoted by saying, I love you, and the world will look at you as the woman behind the man, and I'm so devoted for you, Emma. I think at this point, Joe knew that this was the end of Emma, and that Claire was not going to let Emma take him out. He knew that Claire was going to kill Emma. He knew it. And people can disagree with me, but I really believe at this point he knew that. He knew that she was not going to let Emma kill her. She was going to take her down. So like I said, Joe is lying to Emma and Emma falls for it. Ryan's pissed off because the security guard let Tanner go, but the security guard reveals that he has a tracker on Tanner. So the guard is threatening, like I said, reveals the tracker. They're at the Catholic Church, okay? This is where Joe's little plan goes into place. And you see some of his followers, including Tilda, and they're all going in. There's a Catholic mass going on. The people sit down. And then this guy goes in, and the janitor's talking to him. And then here comes Tilda stabbing him in the stomach, and that's the end of that. So they both end up going through the basement, through the back, to let the people in the van through, which is Tanner and a couple of other people. And they talk to one guy and they say, oh, you know what to do. So apparently they're located on 50th and 3rd in New York on the Blessed Saints Cathedral, and they gather the troops together. Claire gets her stuff and she leaves. They're all leaving the Ryan's apartment. So Claire and the U.S. Marshals are leaving the apartment. The followers enter with Tanner, and they chain the church doors. Joe enters with a cap over his head, reveals himself. All the followers, even the people who sat down in the back of the church, everybody has a gun, a knife, something. Some of them even brought like lighter fluid or nitrogen or something in these big white barrels. And they have these tripwires just in case. And they're like carrying them through with the gasoline and everything. So, Robert and Emma are in the car, and apparently Joe gave them two different instructions. Like, Joe basically told Emma that Robert would know what to do, and Robert that Emma would know what to do. And Emma wonders, what if Joe does not make it out of the church alive? And Robert says, death is just the beginning. And Emma says something about death being silence. It all stops. It gets really quiet. So the cops pull up and to the church. And since the doors are locked, there's a woman with the gun, and she's wearing like pink or something. And she says, death is not, I think it's something about death not scaring her. Death is what we seek. Takes the gun, pow, she's gone. So Ryan and Mike find their way into the church through the roof. They see the men setting up tripwires for bombs. As soon as they're inside through the windows, they set up all those tripwires. So Claire pulls out the tear gas while she's in the car with the FBI guys, and then she bails. And when one of them tries to grab her, or the U.S. Marshals, she maces him, she takes off. Now, I feel at this point the twins are somewhere within the vicinity. They're following. They're getting very, very close. So the FBI is looking for Ryan, and they tell Max. Ryan calls up Max and tells him, we're in. Because I think she calls him, and she says, we're inside, we're watching. So Preston has a reunion with his father. Joe Carroll says that shows Kingston what Preston did killing that girl. And he's asked, where's your God now when you need him the most? He's nowhere because he doesn't exist, whereas I am much of a reality. So again, Joe is showing, his atheism. He doesn't believe in God, hasn't believed it since he was a teenager, and that doctor dude changed his life. So Ryan and Mike find the dead janitor. Joe wants to prove the greatest story ever told is a complete lie. Carrie wants to go live when she realizes that, because I didn't mention that at this point, Tilda has a camera and they're filming this live and they're showing it all over the internet on YouTube and everything. So Carrie wants to go live with a live story about this. So Joe says, who has the more power to save Preston's life? And Tanner basically says there is no God. just to save his son, because Joe's like, either say there is no God, or that praise Joe, and he basically says there is no God. So all of a sudden, Preston like tries to, they both pick up the knives. Preston tries to stab Joe. He's hit by a follower. Then there's canisters of gas or something, I think. I must have mentioned that on my notes. Anyway, Tanner picks up a knife, and he said goodwill will always end against the monster of evil, and he cuts his own throat so his son won't have to live with that burden, as well as the other burden he had from killing that girl. So, Claire goes to the inn alone. Emma decides to go in and get her. Ryan's telling Max and the FBI the schematics of everything in the church and everything's going on. Mike wants to kill Joe. Ryan wants to stop this. Mike says he won't do anything stupid, but he pretty much does. So Joe says that Kingston killing himself was cowardice. Claire's walking into the inn. She's armed. Let me see. Claire walks in the inn. She's armed. She's looking around. All of a sudden, Emma appears. And she greets her. And she's like, why do you want to see him alive? It was stupid coming here alone. Then Claire, I think, is shot by, either she's hit by Robert or she's shot by Robert in the arm. Next thing you know, Emma says that basically, how are you going to get out of this? Because Robert's not going along. Robert's like, listen, we got to take her. And Emma's like, no, we're going to end this. Joe won't have to know. And Robert's like, well, how are you going to explain this? So she says, it was a trap. We were ambushed. Robert was shot. Claire was killed. And the next thing you know, she shoots Robert, kills him. And then Claire gets away and they're chasing each other. And Emma says, you're not good for Joe. You cause him to question himself. And then it's a whole Emma versus Claire thing. It's the battle royale. I told you guys, eventually Emma was wearing out her welcome. So if you haven't seen it, check out my other videos. I've been talking about Emma this whole season. So Claire stabs Emma in the stomach when they fight. And Emma falls through the window down. And it looks like Claire killed her. So basically what ends up happening is that they end up fighting because Claire comes out trying to disarm Emma. And Emma jumps up and Claire takes this branch or something, stabs her. She's standing up, she's looking around, and who the hell pops up? But Mark and Luke. I said right into the arms of the twins. I said I knew they were in the area. I knew they were near. How the hell they knew about that inn, God only knows. He must have told something, or maybe Lily and the boys did their research, but they knew about that inn. They were there. Mark was pissed because Emma was dead. And now basically Mark and Luke now have Claire, so poor Claire. Hopefully she dies quicker than Mandy did this season, because damn. Because they're going to torture her and then they're going to kill her. So at the church, something happened. It was like a loud sound. It was either a bang or like something went off. And they, Joe's people realize that they have company. So they're like basically telling somebody to come out, show yourself. The next thing you know, Mike pops out. I said, I'm Mike, didn't you say you weren't going to do anything stupid? So he pops out. And he comes out basically to save Preston because they're talking because Joe's got a gun to his head. He's going to kill him. So Joe turns a gun on him. He's looking for Ryan. And Mike is okay. Basically says that he will die for it. And Joe yells out, Mikey's going to die, Ryan. Then all of a sudden, the screen goes black and you hear a loud bang. Now, is Mike Weston dead? I have no idea with this show because the only thing that I can basically pick up from this show, or I can basically, conspiracy theory thingy to you guys, is about the characters. As for the storyline has gone in the 360 with back around and just going straight through that circle. I don't know where the hell they're going. I don't know what they're doing with the story, but like I said, and I've said it through the past 14 episodes, I am so here for it. I'm loving this episode. Why they left us hanging like that, I wish this had been a 2-hour episode because this episode moved so fast. It made up for every so-called slow episode we've had this season fast. So that finale next week is going to be off the charts. So ladies and gentlemen, check out my links below. Definitely check out my reviews for Mad Men, Survivor, Believe, Hannibal, and my final one for the season finale of the following, and I will be doing a review of 24 as well. So ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for tuning in. Thank you so much for watching, and keep asking yourself this question: is Mike Weston dead? Because I don't even know. Take care. Have a happy Monday. Have a great week of work. Bye, guys. Bye.